that we're talking about, and also when we talk about different therapies that people can look up. I love you very much. I'll hook you up later, okay? Um, hey, Stoneup, how you doing? Do it again. That should do it right there. Hey,
Hello, hello, hello.
there we go. Hey now.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to be back on.
It is. We took a good vacation, didn't we?
We did. We did. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. I know a couple of people reached out to me and checked on me while I wasn't feeling well, and I appreciate that.
And then the following week, I was on tour for Role Model Professional. We were doing trainings. Mr. Brown was doing some keynote speaking. I was doing some training myself. And Paris was upselling the books and the CD. That girl know how to say, that's not liars. That girl know how to sell. That Paris, we buying just because of you. That's it. That's all right, long as you buy, okay?
Yeah, okay, Paris get it from her mama.
Oh, 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 now. Honey. Uh, Natalia, Elbert, I'm gonna give. Hey, how you doing? Love you. My Watkins, is that Natalia or Pint? Write which one it is so I can get that straightened out. Pamela, would you go ahead and tell them what Authentic Talk podcast is about?
Yeah, so Authentic Talk Podcast is where we come and we talk about real lives and real stories. We don't sugarcoat. We bring you a blend of faith based and reality, as well as some mental health advice. We're both therapists with similar backgrounds. But we're not on here to provide therapy, but you are getting some great information, to some great tools to take back with you, some nuggets to apply to your life. And we're hoping that you, as well as how we feel that you are our family, we hope that you will consider us as your family as well.
And you know what, Pamela? And when I was in Louisiana, we had a lot of people that start following, and they're gonna join.
Oh,
And I told, and what I told them is that when they, there's a lot of people that will not go to therapists, but
yeah.
will come on this podcast knowing that we are therapists, but we're providing
Mhm.
layman terms, information, provide them information, nuggets, wisdom, step by step
Yes.
that they can carry with them until they make the decision that they might go for.
Mhm.
Hey sis, how you doing? I hope everything's doing well in Mississippi because I know it's real hot out that way. She's gone for a family reunion, so I hope you're having a good time, Miss. All is well with you and your family. So let's go ahead and get started.
Let's get started.
Those who will join in, and we want to welcome our Facebook.
Yes. Hi.
And also, I want somebody to go on Facebook and start sharing on that. I want to welcome our YouTube family. You can go always go on Authentic Talk Podcast, Sheryl Brown, and that'll keep clicking. Eventually, just hit Authentic Talk Podcast and it'll come on, but they just have to get used to seeing us all the time in our videos on that. But welcome to Authentic Talk Podcast. But today, we have a hot topic today. This is
A juicy topic.
juicy topic. We're not gonna hold nothing back. We going for it. How it is and how how it is called. We got X Vanity. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome to the family. Just write down what state you're from, so we'll know. But we welcome you into the family, and we hope eventually that you will remain a family talk family member. Um,
Yes.
I believe it says dating, and then
Hmm.
subtopic is "Are you the one?" Is that right, Pam?
That's right. Are you the one?
And we, Pam and I, talked about this about a week ago.
Hmm.
We're going to take our time. If we have to bring some gentlemen in, we miss you too. We really,
Yeah.
if we have to bring some gentlemen, I have two gentlemen friends I'm thinking about to bring. We have a male perspective. Kevin Keys, how you doing in Bakersfield, California? Strong message today. Love you, Kevin Keys. Blessings to you and your family. He's a true man of God and very faithful in the cause. I said, Oh, cute,
Oh, cute depression.
cute depression. Pamela, this is what she said in the class. We was talking about what are some of the signs and symptoms of depression.
Mm-hmm.
She said one of us hair cutting, which is true because some people cut their hair.
That's so true.
And,
Yes.
she when she was depressed, she cut her hair real cute. I said, girl, you didn't have
Mm-hmm.
to call cute depression. And so for cute depression, I am so you have a cute sound
Yes.
that you are with us today.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
But so let's get started. I hope everybody have a pencil and pen and take this information and pass it on. And I'm just glad to see Kevin Keys. I mean, he was so. Can I give him his props? He will always have me on, Pamela, coming to Bakersfield when I was staying there. I think one time,
Uh-huh.
and he would have a panel for the youth, for the
Oh,
teen.
nice.
And so I was on one of the panels and was able to speak and
Okay.
Keys. I'm just putting a nugget in. I hope that it can happen to get to again that Pam and I can come and we could talk.
We sure will.
Break we would just turn the youth head. We're just gonna be raw and break it down to them.
Yes, they need it.
But I just want to thank you for investing in my future. You know,
Mm-hmm.
happen in that moment. But Kevin Keys, I just want to give you a props today. Thank you for allowing a God to use you to invest in my. Thank you for that.
Nice.
Started. Pamela, if it's okay with you and Authentic Talk family, I want to give the different definitions of the of dating as I was, and then I'm going to RC Blake and our opinion, which we agree with him about dating. Okay.
Yes.
He said, what did he say in that thing? It says, so. What does it say? I mean, 50th this coming year, Black. Uh,
Student Union. Oh, nice. Are you at CSUB or Bakersfield College?
mm-mm. He's in the high school.
Oh, he's in the high schools. Okay.
They'll let me 50-year reunion, upcoming year, Black Student Union. I remember that. I sure do.
Okay.
Okay, well, here's the definition right here. Dating means different things to different people.
Mm-hmm.
They're across generation. And it says, according to loveisrespect.org, we define dating. And I left some of the stuff out because I don't want it to be controversial, okay? But we define dating as two people in an intimate relationship. Okay, that's one. Hey, that's one, okay?
That's called Booed Up.
uh,
Netflix and chill.
Current high school student district, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Then number two, then it says the relationship may be sexual,
Mhm.
have to be. It may be serious or casual, monogamous. Am I saying that right? Monogamous
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
or and short term or long term. Now here's another definition of dating. Hanging out versus dating is mostly about determining the intentions behind why you're meeting up. Now that's good. I can hang
Mhm.
the good one. It is if someone asks you to hang out, but they don't display flirtatious behavior or they don't seem nervous, they may not be necessarily interested in you romantically. Okay, romantically still put up into that dating part. Okay,
Mhm. Mhm.
Darcy Blake, and this is our stance, the Pamela and I stance. This is just how we roll on this. Dating, and you want to write this down. Dating is the process of gathering data in
Mhm.
determine if a now I'm adding some stuff, but write this data. Dating is the process of gathering data, process of gathering information.
Mhm.
Person matches or accentuates one's belief system, one's future before cracking the door open into one's life.
Yes.
Goes on to say the purpose of dating is not to have sex. I'm gonna say it again. The purpose of dating is not to have sex. Now I know the society and different they totally different about that, but this is where we stand on that. Because why, Pamela? Because being as therapists, we know when sex take place, soul ties are developed, and we're gonna talk about that, and that can cause a whole different issue taking place with that.
Yeah.
And then so let's get started on that. Pamela, hit on some things that you might want to add up on that about the dating process, then we'll get on to the prerequisites.
Yeah, so just a couple of things, like you said, is when you're dating, you're actually evaluating that person.
Mm-hmm.
You're evaluating to see do they fit into your life? Do they align with your goals of love that you want for yourself? And like you said, dating is not to, have sex, because when you have sex, then you complicate things. Then your clarity on things is not clear, because you've already intertwined those emotions and that affection, and you're not really paying attention to, is this person healthy enough? Is this the right person for me? Is this person designed to take me into my destiny? See, women, we don't take men into their destiny. Men takes us, they go with us into our destiny. That's why, the word says that he that find a wife find a good thing. And
Mhm.
so we have to make sure, not, no, men are the ones that, they're coming out and they're choosing, and they're making sure as well. But we as women have to make sure, is this the right man for us? Will they hinder our growth? Will they suppress our goals and our ambitions? Or will they support us and nurture us and protect us?
Mhm. And Pamela, when you were saying that, I wrote this down. The reason why we emphasize is that, that the big hype is when we're dating, that, and I'm gonna read the statistics about having sex, at the first 3 dates or what
Mhm.
we're creating, and we're saying we're creating soul ties. But this is
Yeah.
me. When you create soul ties, there's the outer court, the inner court, and the inner court. Everybody, listen to me very carefully. I know I'm ahead, but we're ahead, but we're gonna go there. The outer
Mhm.
court is just friendship. It's just an associate. That's the
Mhm.
dating stage right there. Okay, and that's when you get to know the person. We're going to show you a bunch of questions that you can ask and so forth. The inner court means that you are attracted to that person now, and now it's
Mhm.
girlfriend. Now they enter into the inner court. Now, this inner court, we get to know each other. Families get to know each other and so forth, because we're contemplating eventually that we're going to get married. And once you get married, you're in the inner court, because it's a covenant and it's sacred. Okay. But let's go back.
Mhm.
Outer court, that dating, the reason why we say do not put mixed sex in dating, it should be a process of collecting information. Once you do, there's soul ties. And the question is that person strong enough and responsible to carry your soul?
There it is.
Is
Mhm.
is that person strong enough, Pamela? Is
Mhm.
that person
Yeah.
responsible enough to carry your soul? Because
Mhm.
and then what happened is, when you have sex with that person and you were in the outer court, now your soul
Mhm.
automatically carries you into the inner court, and you might be
Yeah.
cracking the door and allowing somebody in your inner court that should never be in your inner court. And that's just like when you let people come in and move in with you. They supposed to stay a whole week, but they might be there for years, and it's hard for you to get them out of your house.
Yes. That's like friends with benefits. You hear that term loosely, it's been spread around for years. And sometimes people misunderstand friends with benefits as a relationship. But you have to be very careful, because if you don't have relationship skills, when you start dating someone, if you don't state up front what your stance is, meaning in terms of, like, okay, if you require marriage, when you are talking to someone, you let them know up front, I require marriage. So that way they'll know in advance, okay, this person requires marriage. I don't want marriage. So let me move forward. Or, oh, they want marriage. I want marriage too. Okay, so let's go to the next step. Let's start building. But if you go into a relationship and they say, well, do you want to be married one day? And you're like, I don't know. I thought about it, but I'm really not sure. You're letting a man know that you are okay. You might be okay with casual,
Hmm.
and see, that's the wrong message that you're sending.
And then, and Pamela, I want to read this, an authentic Pam. It's from YouGov, and many Americans
Mhm.
sex on or before the third date, and it says that come to dating and sex, three is the magic number. Okay, for nearly half of Americans, men 47% are nearly three times as likely as women, 18%, to say that they would want to have sex within the first 3 dates once they began seeing someone like they like. Okay, but many Americans are waiting for marriage to
Mm.
bed with their beau. One fifth, 20% includes
Mm.
and 16% of men said they wouldn't have sex until marriage. And another 14% said they would wait until the third date, while 1 in 10% would have sex on the first date. And men, 16% are 6 times as likely as women, 3% to say they would want to have sex on the first date. And you know what and I thought about this, do Pam, many people say when I'm a date and have sex with them and see if I like how they have sex before I go into the next level. But watch this, even if that person have good sex, they might be hell in other areas. So if you marry that person, oh, you may have good sex, good intercourse, whatever,
Mhm.
but then they dog you out. One, they
Mhm.
abuse you. Two, they
Mhm.
have
Yeah.
dreams. So we cannot put sex at the top, but we have to have
It can't be our answer.
your answer. It can't be the
Mhm.
so ever.
Mhm.
I want you
Yes.
this and the prerequisites before we get into the questions. Let's talk about, welcome Monica, we talk about the prerequisites before dating. And let's,
Okay.
and number one, it says address and work on issues that may complicate the dating process, like past hurt, fear, shame, guilt, toxic relationship trauma, etc.
Mhm.
Timeline. Pamela, break that down.
Okay. So in your timeline, a couple of shows before we took a break. So a timeline is when you know that you are most impressionable when it comes to relationships, or when is the time when you first recall, that emotion that you felt like, oh, okay, I like this person. Let me back up just a little bit. When you start to like someone, when you're younger, you think it's all in your heart because it's all about Valentine's Day and you're giving out your little cards at school, would you be mine, and the little candy. But really, that thought to like someone comes in our mind. So that's when your first, time stamp of your timeline occurs, is when you have that first thought in your mind of you liking someone. And that can be at whatever age. It could be in the sixth grade, it could be in middle school, or it can be in high school, whatever it may be. I remember my daughter coming home and she was in kindergarten and she came in and I was like, how was your day at school? And she's like, I have a boyfriend. And she spelled the little boy's name out and spelled the name right. But she was 5 years old. So at that time, she thought that was her timeline. That ooh, I like this boy, but I had to have a conversation with her to talk to her about when you wait and when you like boys and when what you focus on. But that was her timeline. So whatever your timeline was, keep in mind that sometimes when we have our timeline, when we start liking people, we may not be emotionally mature or ready for that relationship, because if we're younger, we really don't know what a relationship is. So that's really what we mean by a timeline when we talk about that. And as far as you asked the question, Cheryl, about the past hurts, fear, shame, and guilt tied into that question. Um, yeah, that is a timeline in your life when you experience probably your heartache. I don't want to go too deep into that part because I want us to talk about a little bit more, but I want you to be able to share a little bit more with me, Cheryl, because I don't want to miss the full question that you asked. But that's the part about the timeline.
Prerequisites be before you initiating the dating process. Before
Yes,
you decide that I want to start dating, there is a self awareness that you need to have about yourself. And
that's true.
there that other prerequisites that one we said is address and work on issues that may complicate the dating process. It's like if you came out of a bad relationship, then you need to find out went wrong.
Yes,
What is about me that attract me to that person, one, or what did I do wrong in the relationship, whatever they, uh-huh, and we got to find
there it is. Go back and ask. Yeah.
to
Hmm.
about what's going on before before you go into a dating process. That's what I'm talking about. If you have trauma and
Yes.
well, then you shouldn't be going through the dating process. You're not
You're not ready. You're
well,
not ready.
And that goes right into
Mhm.
it. Here's another one, a prerequisite. Don't be desperate to start dating. Don't be desperate.
Yes. See, here's the thing that I think that women experience, and I'm glad that you're bringing this up because remember we were talking about the five wholeness, that five wholeness, and so I want to give props to the person that brought it up. His name is Zeb Tally the Third. I was listening to him, and he was sharing about the five wholeness, and the five wholeness is he was asking a young lady in these five areas. It is mental health, your emotional health, physically, spiritually, and financially. He was asking her, are you healed in those areas? Because if you're not healed in those areas, then you are not ready to date. And that made so much sense to me. It resonated so much to me because it is true. Because if you quickly get into a relationship when you are not healed, when you are in the relationship with this new person, they can be a really great person, but because you are not healed, you will start to pick little things about that person and you'll start to say, oh, they get on my nerves, or oh, no, I don't really like him because maybe his teeth is not wide enough, or
Uh-uh.
I don't really like her. I'm just
Right.
being
No,
honest
no,
with
no,
you.
stop right.
I don't really
Okay.
like her because she a little chubby around the side. You'll start to pick at the little simple things that you
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
work out.
Hmm.
That's not when you're not healed
You.
in some areas.
Hmm.
Then when you rush into the
He's great
relationship,
to that. He has been married
then
years.
that
That's
person will
a
start to say,
beautiful thing.
wow,
That is definitely a
that's a blessing.
okay. So we did the timeline. And now another prerequisite is where are you? Where are you in the healing process? Are you still
Mhm,
where that means are you still stuck and you haven't made
mhm,
changes, or are you receiving counseling, or are you talking to someone with some wisdom? And always
mhm,
seek people who have wisdom, that you always should have one or two people in your life that have just that solid wisdom that you can draw from. You should have another person in your life that doesn't sugarcoat anything. They're going to tell you just like it is.
mhm.
And so where are you
Yes.
in the healing process? And oh, this is good. And are you safe enough? Do you feel secure within that healing process that you able to step out and start dating? Like,
Mm. Can you trust yourself to date the right
so
person?
are boundaries in place? Because when you go through the
Yes.
process, there's totally different boundaries that you set so you won't regress
Mhm,
backwards. You're maintaining. That's just like when we keep ourselves exercise. We take care of it because we want to maintain good health. Well, you want to
mhm,
maintain good mental health. You want to maintain the sound emotions. So what boundaries have you
mhm.
set? And are you in the right state? Or can you trust yourself to date during this healing process?
Can you trust
Ooh.
yourself? Because it starts with you. You have to see, here's the thing. You have to have a relationship with yourself
Mm,
first. Don't get it mixed up, and I wrote it down somewhere. I said don't confuse singleness
mhm,
with being lonely. Don't confuse that. It's okay to be single. It can be a choice. You can make that a choice for yourself to be single until you get yourself together, or until you know that you can pick the right person.
mm,
Like you said, Cheryl, you don't want to regress backwards, and then you're moving forward, but you're dating someone that's like the same person, but it's just a different face and a different name.
mhm. And then, also, Pamela, I wanna make clear, with dating, sometimes it may not be serious. You might just have women, you might just have guy friends. They're just
Yeah.
guy friends that you get a good advice, and you guys go on a date, go for pizza, go out to the movie, and that is good. But let me also tell you something, ladies, and this may be a consolation to many times the guys that are your best friends, you may be over, and they're good and they're giving you good, you might be overlooking that person that is really fit for you.
That might be the one for
It might be the
them.
one for you because
Yeah.
it is a beautiful thing to marry your best friend.
It is.
So a big difference. So
Yes.
here's another one. Have number
Mhm.
two, another prerequisites. You guys need to write this down. Have a strong ability to discern. Donnie's typed
Mhm.
this in. Everybody typed this in. Discern, discern. And I want you guys to share this. If you could share right now,
Mhm.
share this right now. Have
Yes.
a strong ability to discern. Dating. Here it is right here. Date with your heart and not with your mind.
Mm.
Date
Yeah.
with your heart and not with
That
your
was
mind.
her mom.
And Pamela, could you just break it down? Why is it so important to have the ability to discern? What does it mean by discern, and why is it important to discern when you're dating, when you are meeting a new person?
Yeah. So although you start with your mind,
Hmm.
you start with your mind when that thought of you like that person or you love that person, but it's good to go with your heart, because with your heart, why it's good to have the discernment is because you'll see the red flags, and you won't sugarcoat, you won't dummy down the red flags. You will know that, okay, oh, I'm kind of seeing this is an indication of this. It will save you in the long run of getting your feelings hurt. You will know when to get out. And I wrote something down that I don't want to pass over. A lot of times we frown on rejection, but I'm going to be honest with you. Rejection is not a bad thing. I
Hmm.
wrote down, I said, I welcome rejection. I rather see you before I say yes to you.
Mm,
See, you rather see when you have discernment, you will step back and you will see things in that person, and with discernment, you'll listen to that. They'll be talking so much, and you'll hear something to jump out, and you'll hear it, and then it'll resonate with you, and you'll be like, oh, okay, so that is from that person's heart.
mm-hmm,
So you have to sometimes slow down and be quiet and let somebody else talk and listen to what they're saying. That's why, we talked about online dating, and we're not saying that that's a great thing to do,
mm-hmm,
but it made me think about when you are when you're spending time with someone over the phone. When you're spending time with someone over the phone and not so quickly trying to rush and jump into things in person, you get to hear their conversations.
mm-hmm.
You can figure out even if you like them enough to even see them in person.
Hmm. And Pamela, I was at the gym. There's two things I want to say. When I was at the gym, one of my friends, I was talking to him. He said, "Oh no, I can't be. I'm the back pay. I can't be but I can go get you some people who can do it." And
Yes.
and I was working out, and he brought me three gentlemen, and they were different ages,
Mhm.
and I was just asking them about dating, and they
Mhm.
said how dating was just have changed, and
Mhm.
how media is taking over the etiquettes of dating. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And then everything is done on the app. And what they were saying is that it decreases our social skills. It
Yes.
He said it takes away the pleasure when you meet something in person, that you have that physical attraction. That is so important, that physical attraction. Not saying that people haven't met good people online, they've been married for years or what, but watch this. We want to try to go back to the original intent of dating,
Mhm.
the original way dating was designed is when you meet somebody, just the eyes, the
Mhm.
attraction was taking place,
Yeah.
the heart start palpitating. It was all
Be sweating a little bit, the
uh,
butterflies.
he's showing all your 42 teeth, or how many you have. You showing those teeth.
Exactly. Holding hands with each other.
Watch, it took away the pureness from it.
Yes.
And but Pamela, going back to what you said, is making sure that you have a self-awareness of yourself and be able to discern. I wrote this down. You walk when you before you when you dating when you walk in dating, you walk in as royalty, knowing who you are, and you will not settle for a peasant
Mm-mm.
behavior. Because
Mm-mm.
when you ask all these questions that we're going to find out
Mhm.
today, you're going to find out if that person is royalty or does he have a peasant behavior. And royalty and peasant behavior do not match.
It doesn't. And it can be vice versa for men if
Oh,
she has royalty or peasant behavior.
of course, it's not just for men. We talk
Yeah.
all the way, uh, all
All across
across.
the board.
Here's a number: you uncompromising
Mhm.
identity.
Mhm.
You don't dummy down your identity for
Mhm.
consistent awareness.
No.
Talked about that strong. Oh, here it is. Have when you date before you start dating, make sure you have a strong connection with peace. Make sure that because that's attached to discernment. And Pam, I don't know about you, but
Mhm.
I remember one time before I met Mr. Brown or somebody. It was at Cal State. And this person, now he messed up right then and there. He gonna give me a dollar bill wrapped it up with his telephone number on it. Who does that? Okay. He messed that and watch that whole thing that person. And then as when Brown approached, he gave me a business card. We laughed. Automatically I felt that attraction with him. I would never tell him because he think I played hard to get, but he knows now since I'm all on the thing.
Yeah.
But you have that. You watch, ladies and you'll feel that safeness. You feel safe with him.
Yes.
You'll feel that
That's the key.
that's your peace. That's your peace. Peace
Mhm.
is your best
Mhm.
friend. And if you don't
Mhm.
have peace and you met the person for the first time, if you don't have peace or you feel your peace is getting out of that chair and walking off, follow your peace because now you are learning to date with your
Discern.
heart. You discern means
Uh-huh.
this: dating with your heart and not with your mind, because the mind was
That's
only
right.
designed for information. Your heart, you always hear follow your heart, follow your heart. There's a
Yeah.
reason to follow your heart because it
Mhm.
would keep you out of situations that are not safe.
Mhm. And I was just gonna say that it's a I can't even think of the word I'm trying to say, but you're right. Listen to your heart, because sometimes your heart, now, sometime our heart will say, yeah, go and do it. I don't know if if that's really our heart. We'll say our heart told us to do that, but is that really just us in
That
our
yeah,
minds,
that's us in thy mind because
in our
because the
mind?
heart
Yeah.
because the heart is settled. When you put
Yes.
the right, if the
Yes.
heart, when you have the right information in your heart, going in your heart, then it's
Hmm.
settled. But when you are toiling, I don't know, that means don't do
Not sure.
don't do nothing because you're not at peace.
That's right.
Should
You're not at
there you
peace. And that's the answer. That's really the answer. You might say, well, I really don't know. How can I tell if this is what I'm supposed to do? Or how can I tell if God is really telling me this? If you're not settled in your spirit, then you're gonna know.
mhm.
That's not the right thing to do.
Because peace is settled. Peace knows what to do.
It's
Peace
calm, it's easy,
cool. Mhm.
cool. Yeah.
Now,
Hmm.
here's the next one. It says, "Don't be desperate for date to date." We talked about that. Content to who.
Yes.
All right, and we talked about the outer court, inner court, and I'm gonna say that again. Somebody said, "What about that?" Somebody type in outer court, and outer court means when we talk about outer court, these are your different phases of your life, of who you allow in, and so forth, that leads up to marriage. And outer court are just associates. These are people that you meet. They're not best friends or anything like that, but these are people that you may meet. These are people on your job. This may be that casual dating. You might be interested in that person, but they still in the outer court. You may see yourself
Mhm.
walking down the aisle with that person, but they still in the outer court. Okay.
Yeah.
And so therefore, then the inner court means that you have cracked the door open and you allow that person to enter into your life. That means they get to know they're entering into your personal space. They get to know things about you. They get to know how it is, how you look when you get mad. There's different things that they see that they wouldn't see on the outer court. But watch this, Pamela. But there's some people show you who they are in the outer court.
Oh, they will.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say that having those conversations are huge,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
very, very important. But the dating today, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't have the conversations. They have enough conversation to say, okay, where we gonna go and where we gonna hook up at, and then before they can build a friendship, before they can find out what the person's like or they dislike, their favorite color, they boom, before they in the bed, they done have sex,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
and all of that is
Mm-hmm.
tainted. And then you're trying to go
Mm-hmm.
back to, start from the beginning to get to know that person. But, you've already jumped some leaps over and had sex.
Mm-hmm.
So that just kind of
Mhm.
Yeah, it messes
Yeah,
things up.
'cause, Pamela, because dating to me is just should be just laughing and talking, and everything will ease in, nothing of a serious commitment or anything, like, it's
Mhm.
just getting to know that person. "Oh, I didn't know you know that
Yes.
person. Oh, you like skiing?" You're just finding out,
Mhm.
gathering information, and that's
Yeah.
it. "I had a good time, da, da, da. Thank you for the
Mhm.
beautiful meal."
Mhm.
If it was a
Yeah.
man, he respectful when you if you decide to meet him at the location, he'll still be there to open up the car door for you. He might have a little rose.
And he'll be okay with you meeting him
Oh, yes,
there.
he will, and he might just he's
Mhm.
not trying to like but he is on his best behavior. He gonna might present the queen with the rose or whatever the case, just to show you
Mhm.
I do have interest for you, but Imma go through this process because, and the woman, she's gonna be dressed
Oh,
she's gonna be dressed up really nice, nothing revealing or whatever the case may be. Because the bottom line, if he's interested in you, he gonna be interested in the whole package.
yes, he
'Cause
will.
you can dress any kind girl, I know I have this shape and I can dress and you can be dumb as anything. So you got to balance that thing out. Just dress royalty. I think that's the bottom line. Go ahead, Pam.
Mhm.
You had something, you snapped your finger. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was in my mind here, and this is so huge. I didn't know this when I was in my early 20s. I don't know, because back then, remember, I was like, on two tires in my early 20s trying to go get my bed, but now I know better. I know better now, but I was thinking about this because this is what I recall being a younger woman. When a person is not doesn't want you to ask them questions, that is a red
Mm,
flag. When somebody is interested in you and they don't have no motives, and we're gonna talk about people's motives too when they're dating. If their motives are pure, they would allow you to ask these questions and will respond to your question. They're not going to be moody. They're not going to be short. They're not going to try to cut you off like, oh, you were asking all these questions. And because if you're asking all those questions and they don't want to answer, it's got to be something that's hidden behind it.
mhm. And somebody
And
go ahead, Pamela, and go ahead.
no, I'm just saying you're scratching on that surface where they're trying to
Mhm.
they don't want you to go behind. They don't want to open up that door. And that's a red flag.
Mhm. And I want everybody to type in, "You have a right to ask questions." Just say, "I
You
have a right."
have a right.
Write that right down right now. "I have a right." And I
You
want you to
have a
write it on a
right.
piece of paper. "I have a right. I have a right
Mhm.
to ask questions because I
Yes,
have
you
to make
do.
sure I'm gonna allow this person to come into my life." Type that in. "I have
Yes.
right." Can I say that again, Pam? You
Yes.
have a right, men. You have a right, women, to ask questions.
Ask those
Uh, uh,
questions. Those are needed
yes.
questions because if you don't ask those questions, it's going to come up later on.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. And some people never ask questions and they were harmed in some form or fashion.
Yes.
They were stuck
Mhm.
with looks that person was bow-legged or she was beautiful and and
Uh-huh.
got hurt in the process, maybe
Mhm.
or emotionally. But here we
Mhm.
go, Emma. These questions, a majority of the questions are from R.C. Blake, but I did add some more questions on here. But here's some questions. I think there are 9 questions that you need to ask a person. Please share this right now. Please share.
Mhm.
But here's 9 questions that you need to ask a person when you're on a date. And the whole thing is your motives. These questions bring to surface the motives and the hidden agendas in order for you to determine if someone is worthy of occupying your time or to be in your presence. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, here's the first one, Pamela. What matters the most to you? That's a good conversation.
Mhm.
What matters the most? What matters
Mhm.
the most? And for believers, if somebody said, what, God is a priority to my life, and we know there are people, some people can use that and flip it and be conning with it, but you'll be able to discern because time will tear.
Mhm.
Hey, cream has a tendency to come to the top. You will be able to discern. But my question is, what matters the most to you? What matters the most? If they say God, or what matters the most, if they have children, my children, they might even show you some pictures of their children. My mother, matters the most is me, what I've been called to do. Da da da. See,
Mhm.
now it's a balance there. Am I about right?
It's a balance.
It's a balance.
Yeah.
It's a balance.
Yeah, and I was gonna say really quickly is that whatever matters to them, you'll see that what's important to them. Now, if they say, "Oh, hanging out with my buddies," then you chances are you're gonna be competing with his time or with her time.
Mhm, mhm.
You know, if he or she's still in that stage of where it's so important for them to be with their friends all the time,
Mm.
you know, you
Or
better think about that.
Pamela, what matters the most to me is a male or female is my job and getting to the top of the ladder of my career. Then you in competition with that job, and
Mhm.
and they won't take the time out to really understand you because their attention is more so in their job or whatever the case may. They
It's in yeah,
have
it's in that. You're right.
have a
You're
balance.
right.
Number two, why? No, don't do that one right now. I'm gonna come back to that one because there's a certain time. What's your vision 5 years from now or 10 years from now?
Mhm.
And you say, well, I'm not gonna marry the person, but you still need to know what their vision, you know?
Mhm.
Even if they're just a friend, you don't wanna have a friend you don't wanna have a friend that doesn't have a vision. So
Mhm.
what is your
You're
so
right.
what is your vision? That's what the canvas of the imagination was designed for. Your imagination was designed for you to live in the future. And
Mhm.
ladies and gentlemen, you should be knowing what you're gonna do 5 years from now and 10 years from now. And then so
You should.
good, and if you're like that, then the person that you're dating or getting to meet, you wanna know that
Mhm.
he have dreams and visions. So what do you plan to do 5 years from now? Well, what I
Mhm.
plan to do right now, I'm in school. See, so you know where you fit in there. I'm in school, da da da, but I'm almost fit.
He's building.
He's
He's
built
building.
building, plan to get a
Mhm.
home. See, he bring,
Yes.
whatever the case. And eventually, I want to get married. I want to have children. See,
Mhm.
letting you know that if he likes you, you fitting into
Very
that. You're
yeah.
fitting into that equation. But if he
Mhm.
can't tell you what he's going to do 5 years or 10 years from now, then he definitely can't tell you what he's going to be doing next week. He
Well, he won't be able to lead you.
dare you. Oh, oh,
He won't be a
oh,
see, here's the
oh,
thing.
oh. Wait a
When
ding,
you in
ding, ding.
when you are embarked upon a relationship with a man, we talking about women,
Mhm,
you want someone that's able to lead you. If you go to him to ask him for some advice, if he's not able to lead you, he's not going to be able to give you wisdom. He's
mhm,
not going to be able to give you advice.
mhm, mhm.
He's just not.
And then Pamela and men, if you are liking a woman or dating that doesn't have a vision, then she won't be able to see your vision because
He
it's
won't.
nothing better, men, is to have a woman that can see your vision and encourage you and push you in that direction so you can fulfill your purpose in
Cheer
life.
you on.
Going,
Yeah.
listen to when you have a woman that cheer you on, you have a treasure and you better hold her and
You
that
better
you
hold
better
tight.
hold 'cause there are women out there
Mhm.
that don't care about your vision. All they
They don't.
all they want is their needs taken care of.
There it is. What you gonna do for me? Like Janet Jackson said, "What have you done for me lately?" That's all they're thinking
That's
about.
all
Seriously.
that's all they're thinking about. So it is important.
Mhm,
What are your vision 5 years from now? We're asking deep questions. So if it get too
mhm.
hot for the person, they're not gonna call you no more. They're not gonna
No.
DM you no more. They're not gonna do Snapchat. Is that what you call it? They're not gonna do that. They're not
Snapchat,
gonna do that
whatever it
Facebook
is.
or whatever smoke signals or
What is
whatever.
it? IG. Yeah, all of that.
Uh-huh.
You're right, Cheryl.
Mhm,
They'll be gone, which is good because remember what I said earlier. What I say? You rather see them before you say yes to them.
mhm.
Get them on out of the way if they're not gonna be right.
Here's the next one. Well, here this is where here's where you can throw
This is a good one.
here
Yeah.
here this right here. Now this is where you can throw this in. I didn't want to put it first, but when you're going out to dinner or whatever, throw this one in. Why are you attracted to me? What made you see me out of all the women or men asking women, what made you see me of all the men?
Mhm.
So you come out of nowhere with this question. Why? So that don't give them time to think about it.
Yeah.
If they go, and I heard RC Blake, they go, well, he said, he said they're not the one. Automatically,
Mhm.
and then watching somebody told me I was talking to someone, Albert. He said, well, somebody can really know how to talk and put the fluff on, but that's when you know how to discern.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
You'll know where their mind is at, and especially if they, wanna move too quickly. When they wanna move too quick, they just wanna have sex,
Mm-hmm.
and then when they get the sex from you, they're gonna be gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think R.C. Blake said, well, what attracted me was your beautiful body. He said something else, but your beautiful body and they're not.
Mhm.
not the one.
They not. They
That,
just want to have sex.
that means they're physical, and because
Hmm.
and ladies and men, listen to me quite carefully. When you're dating, please get somebody that's intellectually stimulating.
Wait, let me pick my head up.
Woo! Okay,
Please.
we've been thinking since we've been on vacation. Please,
Oh my
please
gosh.
get somebody that's
Please.
intellectually stimulating. You It's nothing worse that you somebody claps. It's
Let me tell you, because the sex is gonna go away one day. And then what y'all gonna have? He gotta be able to bring some kind of stimulation out of mentally out of
It's
you, you know?
somebody say it again. Say it again, please. Date have somebody when you're dating that's mentally stimulating, and like, and they're
Yes,
watch this. Some people get caught up on people that look so good, but they're not mentally stimulating. Where somebody may be cute, they're not very attractive, but they have that je ne sais quoi, but
yes.
they have that intellectual stimulation. It makes them attractive.
Mhm.
It
It
makes
makes them
it,
sexy.
it
You'd be
sure
like,
do.
"Ooh,
They
okay, well,
it sure do.
yeah, it's a full package."
It's a full pack. Well, sure, that girl,
Mhm,
dress him up, but he got that intellectual
mhm,
stimulation right there. And look,
mhm.
and you're gonna find it's not all about look; it's about the person's heart
Yeah, how they
and
treat
how
you
they
is
treat you.
very
Or
huge. It's so huge. How they treat
mm,
you is
mm,
huge, because if they treat you good,
mhm,
they're gonna carry your heart with them wherever they go.
mhm,
If they're mean,
ooh, mhm.
they're not gonna care if they hurt you or not. That's just it's gonna be all about them.
Because you know what, Pam, because I've heard of men, they are just gorgeous, or women just gorgeous, but when they get mean or going to cause harm, they start turning ugly real quick. Oh,
Hmm.
real quick.
Hmm.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Go right here. The next question, or that what
I like this next
and
one.
it's not so much a question, but it's what you're going to do. Go to places that he or she may go, like church,
Yes.
social events, in order to observe his or her environment.
Hmm.
Tell them,
Yes.
start getting into like a month of the relationship and stuff. Well, I want to go to church with you. I want to go to one of your. You want to see them in their element, and if they
Yeah, send 'em around their
right,
friends.
if
Yeah.
they stutter like then they're not the one. Because what they
That means, I don't wanna go in public with you, somebody else might see me. I might be seeing somebody else on the side.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah, playing games.
And then you're gonna see them because when their element, these people know them, and somebody gonna slip and say, "Well, I thought you was with uh, whatever her name, or I thought you was with
Mhm.
such and such." So go to their church. I'm going to church with you. I'm
Yes.
go to the social event. I'll meet you there, or whatever the case may be, because you want to see what their environment is about. And
Yes.
bet and Pamela,
Go ahead.
especially if their I said mama, especially if their mom and dad is there, because women, you better check and see how the man treats his mother, and men, you should better check and see how the girl treat their father. Not in all situations, but when there's a
Yes.
level of royalty or whatever, then that's how
Mhm.
they're gonna treat you.
That's how they're gonna treat you. And I'm gonna tell you this, you also want to see how family treat one
Mhm,
another, because if they are a fighting family,
mhm,
if you do something, they're not gonna care if you are the daughter-in-law, the cousin, whatever, they're gonna fight you also.
mhm.
And you don't want to be in no relationship with anyone where you fighting their family and all that. You don't want to do that. That's not healthy at all. It's
Somebody
just not.
Pamela said, "What if they have a stuttering problem?" I'm done.
That's okay. You can take them if they stuttering. That is all right. You just be patient and let them get their words out.
They stutter,
That's it.
you still discern between the stuttering, okay? All right, here we go. Now the next one we have right here is that what is your position? What is your position? Oh, and we forgot to say this, Pamela. Ladies and gentlemen, Authentic Talk family, don't ever let nobody keep you as a secret.
Never. No, I'm sorry. I done brought my head
Uh-huh,
up.
uh-huh,
Never.
uh-huh.
Mm-mm,
Don't let nobody
mm-mm.
they have to keep you as a secret or whatever the case, and they're not the one. What
Not the one.
is never kept as a secret. All right.
Mm-mm.
Uh,
And you're never second. You're not a side chick or whatever they want to call it.
uh-huh,
You're not.
uh-huh.
And this is another thing also too, Cheryl, is listen to what their friends call them. You could be around people and you'll hear their friends say, what's up, player? red flag,
Mm.
red flag.
Mhm. Mhm.
Those words, a real man is not going to allow his friends to call him any kind of words that's going to give you a different impression about him.
Mhm. And
It's
oh,
not going to do that.
it's another one. And if you go with that person or meet them there and they're not with you, but they kind of stray away and mingle with other people, leave you by there, and eventually they come back, something is wrong. Now, I get it. If they go with you and you a good mingle, you mingle with other people, but they should still be with, they
Yes.
still be with you to let people know, okay, this is the person that I'm dating. But if you just,
Introducing you.
you go on the other side and you just stay with the guys and don't,
Mhm.
they see they're setting the stance right there that there are men on this side, the women on this side. Because you have to keep in mind if you're dating, this is the one, then we're heading for marriage. That's the bottom line. Where if ladies and men, if you're marriage material, don't settle for anybody
Mhm.
any kind of way before you marry them, because then that just sets the stance of how it's going to be throughout the relationship. Okay.
Mhm.
Here in here's
That's good.
the next one right here, Pamela. What is your position on sex before marriage? Sex before marriage, we
Mhm.
say complicate the relationship because soul ties are involved, but you need to ask them,
Mhm.
what is your position? What is your position on having sex before the relationship? Why is that so important, Pamela?
Well, it's important to say, for instance, if you're abstinent, you're not having any sex, you're waiting for your wife,
Mm-hmm.
you're waiting for your husband. If they are having sex, then it's going to make things complicated because you already starting off unequally yoked.
Mm-hmm.
You already starting off on that. And remember, if you have a faith base and you're spiritual, the word lines you up as far as you're waiting, you're staying abstinent from sex until you're married, because again it complicates things. And if you start off your relationship on the wrong leg, it's not going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be some struggles and some things that you got to get through, because you what would we say, you defile, that's what they call it, you kind of like you defile the bed before marriage. So it's just and I'm not saying that, I'm not saying this in a judging way. I'm just saying that if you are a person that is faith based, it's best for you to follow by what your faith, your biblical.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not faith based, I'll tell you what, even if you don't want to follow by it because you're not faith based, if you jump into a relationship too quickly and having sex, he may not even, or she may not even see you to be anything other than that. And
Mm-hmm.
then you compromise yourself by laying down with this person, and it's going to take you X amount of time to heal from that relationship, and they are gone on about their business.
So what you're saying is that person now has become an object rather than a commodity.
That's it. You're just like I've heard before, like another loop in that person's belt,
Mm-hmm.
or another person on the list. Like, back in the day, guys used to write down, oh, okay, number 13, who the 13th person.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be that. You
Mm-hmm.
don't want him. You don't want him to see you, because you can be a really good woman, or you don't want that woman to see you as a bad guy. You can be a really good guy, but you don't want them to have that impression of you that it was just sex. You
Mm-hmm.
can wait. It's not worth it.
Okay, Pamela, we're gonna do one more, and then we're gonna hold the other ones for next time. And here's
Yes.
right here. What does commitment looks like to you?
Mm,
Question. What does commitment look like? Now, see, that's the deal breaker right there. That is
that's good.
that's the deal breaker right there. Authentic
That's
Talk
important.
family is
Mhm.
because, and then they should be man or woman. They should be able to tell you, give you a nice picture of what commitment look like. Commitment
Yes.
is one on one, being faithful, communicating. Being on. And if that person say, well, you know what, I am, what commitment look like to you is right now, I'm not really ready for a commitment. I like you, but I have other interest, someone else. Then right
Mm.
now, peace already got up. Peace has already took his take home food and went home. you know.
Yeah.
So, so
Yeah.
on that, Pamela.
Yeah. So don't, when you meet somebody, don't like them so much to where you already see yourself at the altar and you really haven't gotten to know that person.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say it's very important that you be quiet and listen to their conversation, because a person will tell you what time it is. if you hear someone tell you their views on commitment, meaning like, oh, let's not worry about that right now. Or if you hear them say, well, let's talk about that in the future. He's already letting you know, and she's already letting you know they don't see you in their future.
Mm.
They
Mm.
don't, they don't, they, if they see you in their future, they're going to talk. Remember, I said they're not going to shy away from questions. They're going to allow you to answer these questions, ask the questions, and they're going to answer the questions.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it's very important to don't tippy toe on a relationship because you like that person so much to where you feel like you have to just give them the answer that you want them to have because you don't want to be so desperate to feel like you just want to keep them in your life. And so maybe one day I'll be able to change her, or maybe one day I'll be able to change him and they will like me, and then we'll go on ahead and walk down the yellow brick road. No, this is not Dorothy and the Wiz. This is real life. This
Mhm.
is the real life. You have to be honest with a person about where you at and what you want, and don't compromise yourself just to keep somebody in your life. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, if they don't like you, I don't care if you do 5 backflips on a chandelier, cook 5 meals a day. If they don't want to be with you, they're not gonna be with you. They're gonna leave you anyways.
Mhm. And I like to say this, Pamela, a person that is not committed to self cannot be committed to you. That's it right there. That is right there. And that goes into what I just, he just cute, she just beautiful. Don't be mesmerized by that. The reason why you're
Mhm.
asking these questions because we want to go beyond the surface. We want to pull up hidden agendas, and we want to make sure that this person is even qualified me to crack open the
Mhm.
door for their to enter into my inner court. Because we're going to say it again. If you allow somebody to illegally enter into your inner court, they will violate all the rules that you have develop for your life and your growing. They will violate all that, and they will make you feel like you back out in the outer court with yourself.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's that right there. Um,
Mm.
we could say Pam was over there thinking deep. We could say more, but our we provided you. I hope we came out strong, but we're just telling you just like it is. Why are we telling you just like it is? Because when we have clients, and especially when we come to relationships, then they wonder why that person wasn't committed to me. Why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel like I'm betrayed? And many times when I'm with married couples, I ask them a question. Did anything on inside of you, any red flags, did you feel in your heart? Did you feel at peace when you were dating that person and met that person? And 99% of the time, the question is, I did not have peace.
Mm. Yeah.
Uh-huh. I did not have peace. They said what they said today, takeaway.
Today's takeaway, are they even qualified to have access to you?
Yeah. And then when I ask
It's
people,
huge.
confused, but when I asked people, they said I didn't have peace. Your peace should be
Mhm.
your best friend. You
Mhm.
date with your heart and not with your mind. And you
Not
are
with your mind.
royalty when you walk in. And if the person doesn't
Mhm.
match up to your royalty and they have watch this, peasant questions.
Mm.
Peasant answers. They are not the one. And
Yes.
step down from your throne.
Mm.
When men don't
No.
step down as a king, don't
Mm.
women a queen don't step down from your throne.
Mm.
And dating, and I like to say this in the society that we live in, social media, I get it, but they have robbed. This is what came to. They have robbed the authenticity of dating.
Mhm.
Rob.
Mhm. Mhm.
They have robbed.
Yeah.
They have diluted it. And
Mhm.
the generation that I have to have it now. How are you going to have sex with the person that you don't? You can have sex with a person that have mental illness, and then you allow develop a soul ties with that person that have mental illness, and they enter into the inner core, and they're going to make you think that you have mental illness.
Wow.
I'm just saying. Well,
Or just, just picking up on, they may be violent.
mhm,
It's scary. You don't really know a person, and you can see those violent tendencies in a person before you even go, just you can talk to them over the phone.
Mhm.
They'll be jealous,
Mhm.
they'll question what you're wearing. You'll see those things, you'll hear it in conversation. So
Mhm.
it's just best to be very, very careful. But like you said, it's just so much we could say about this topic, but I'm looking forward to our next one, you guys. And so
Yeah.
Cheryl, go
Yes.
ahead and let them know what's our next
Yeah.
our next
What
topic so they'll come back.
let me do our next topic will be we're going to be part 2. We're going to finish up these questions right here. If you
Hmm.
have any questions about dating, please
Hmm.
DM me at Cheryl underscore masterpiece women.
Yes,
I won't say your name, so go ahead and ask some questions, and then we'll be able to answer the questions. Make sure that you
we
share.
definitely
Uh,
will.
the next one we're going to talk about, we're going to finish this, but then we're going to talk about what is courting, because it's dating, then it's courting, and courting is
Hmm.
the inner court, and you're prepared to go into the inner court, which is after you get married. Then it's a covenant between the two people. So there's a difference
Hmm.
between the
It's
two,
a
and our
difference. Yeah.
society tried to emerge the two. You can't emerge the two. But I feel in my heart, Pamela, to pray for someone right now or some people.
Hmm.
But right now, we come in the name of Jesus, and I speak life to the authentic talk
Yes.
and those who will listen
Hmm.
thereafter. And Father God, I thank you that they have peace. And as they
Hmm.
enter into that element of dating, that you send the right people across their path, the right people, Father God, that have that royal disposition, that they have a love for you. And anybody that's not right, anybody that does not belong in their life, prevent them from coming across their path in the name of Jesus. And Father God, we speak life over them. I said, Father God, that we speak great grace over them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Talk about briefly the services we have for those that might be in need of therapeutic services. And
Yes. Yeah, so if you are in need of therapy and you have private insurance, you can definitely contact your member service number and they will give you a list of some therapists in your area. You may also look for a therapist on Therapy for Black Girls, Psychology Today. In our hometown, there's a couple of therapists that we know is Naisha Davis, and that there's also Carla Garcia. Her and her husband services CNL services. So you definitely can look them up and contact them if you need some services if you're located in California or in Bakersfield, California.
okay. All right, Authentic Talk family, we ask you to join us again on. Please bring a friend, bring 3 or 4 people, just bring them in so we can, because our bigger followers are those who watch afterward, but we want you to come in and watch it live so you can
Yes.
feel what we're saying. You can feel when we do ding ding and when we go deep. And
Mhm.
but make sure that you share this and continue to
Yes.
have a beautiful evening. And we will see you on next week. Bye bye.
Bye.